ChatGPT, a revolutionary AI that made basically everything easier. Anything that can be typed can be done by ChatGPT. You want to make yourself sound smarter? Ask ChatGPT. You want to sound dumber? Ask ChatGPT. You want to get some information about a subject? Ask ChatGPT. You want a food recipe with certain ingredients? Ask ChatGPT. You want to write a song? Ask ChatGPT. You want to ask a question? Ask ChatGPT. You want to write a script? Ask ChatGPT. You want to get a guide on how to basically do anything? Just go and ask ChatGPT. I only included a small amount of what it can actually do, and if you want to know what else it can do, then just go and ask ChatGPT. But I think you probably know about ChatGPT more than I do. So if you are so familiar with ChatGPT, why don't you tell me what is the national identity of it? Huh? You don't know? How can you say that you are familiar with someone if you don't even know their nationality? Looks like you were too busy asking the AI to help you with your homework, possibly treating it like most people treat a god, ignoring its existence unless you need something from it. So anyways, what is ChatGPT? When I first met ChatGPT, I was like, ha, their emblem resembles a swastika. But then I realized that this emblem is actually a swastika. Either a Georgian or Armenian swastika to be precise, with a slight similarity to Slavic one, which is actually not an ancient symbol and was originally made by a Russian ex-Stalinist that became a pagan nationalist after he realized that Stalin's brutal regime had nothing to do with communism. A good realization, by the way, but he took the wrong path, and instead of becoming a real communist, he doubled down on Stalinism and ended up becoming a nationalist. So his swastika is not related to historical swastika because he made his swastika with hatred in mind, while the real swastika represents love. And yeah, I have a sufficient amount of knowledge about swastikas, but come on, swastika is one of the most universal symbols in the universe. No wonder why it resembles the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, when I first saw the Nazi flag as a kid, I know that the symbol looked very familiar, even though I never saw it before. It's kinda sad how a prevalent symbol like this turned into a hate symbol only because of some coffee Germans. So yeah, these Georgian and Armenian swastikas have nothing to do with the Gonfi Germans. The symbols are Arivafaj and Borjgali. These ancient symbols are the main symbols of these countries. The Borjgali, for example, it can be found on coins, planes, and even football players. Both symbols represent the sun like every other swastika and look very similar to each other. The main distinctive characteristic is the fact that Arivafaj, the beams, mostly fall into each other, and there are more of them compared to Borjgali that is mostly depicted with 7 beams. Because of Christianity, the amount of beams was random in pre-Christian era, but after Christianity got introduced to Georgians, they managed to seamlessly incorporate it into the Christian culture by just changing the amount of beams. But despite their differences, the symbols are still very similar, making them almost interchangeable. This can be seen everywhere. You look at the symbol that resembles these two, and then you wonder which one is this. So, as you can see, they are very similar, except for this one because it was found in Sweden, which is too far away from both Georgia and Armenia. Now let's take a look at the ChatGPT logo. So is it Borjgali or Arivafaj? It has 6 pins, similar to Borgali that has 7, and it has an outline similar to Areva, making it something in between. Just look at this. If you replace the Borgali or Areva on pictures, seems almost look the same for a common man. So ChatGPT is basically a Caucasian symbol but stylized, and now you might have noticed that I didn't even mention Azerbaijan. Why? There's just one issue. Azerbaijani culture has no swastika symbol, and this video is literally about the fact that the logo of ChatGPT is a Caucasian swastika, and I wasn't able to find a way to insert the Azerbaijan part somewhere at the beginning, because again, as I said before, this video is about swastika, two very similar swastikas to be precise, and Azerbaijani culture has no swastika. I looked through every national symbol of Azerbaijan, seeing surreal carpets, a lot of musical instruments, and nice national. But the most interesting one was the symbol that the Ministry of Culture should have put as their logo. So this symbol is called Buta, and it is the main symbol of Azerbaijani culture. And guess what? It represents eternity like Portugali and Areva does. And in some occasions, the Butas are depicted in this way, forming basically a sun, with the Buta itself having a small sun inside. So have we managed to prove that ChatGPT is Caucasian? Not really. Buta symbols are not always shaped like this. Buta is a self-sufficient symbol that can exist outside of the sun, but ChatGPT's logo, on the other hand, is not a symbol made out of all the symbols. It is just a single symbol like Areva and Borgali. So Buta won't work. Thinking outside of the box will work. The ChatGPT logo is not only the swastika, but also the cyan-colored background. And if you take a look at the Azerbaijani flag, then you can notice that, no way, is this the ChatGPT? How did this happen? And what does the blue color mean? At first glance, the flag of Azerbaijan looks like it represents the primary colors. Some will even say RGB, but in reality, the colors represent Turkic heritage, democracy, and Islam. So what does it mean for ChatGPT? Looks like ChatGPT secretly wants to unite the entire. I mean, look at this. They have an ambiguous symbol that represents both Armenian and Georgian national symbols, and the crawler that represents the Turks. In this case, the Azerbaijani Turk. Is this really possible to unite these three countries, two of which hate each other? Will it be like Yugoslavia or Caucasia? Well, actually, this country already existed, and it was called the Trans-Caucasian Democratic Federative Republic. It only existed for a month, and during its short existence, it was not independent, democratic, federative, or a republic. This country was a huge failure, and their flag had no doubt put in it. I actually decided to make an alternative Transcaucasia flag that used the symbols from every country in that area, and look what I got. This part down here is actually a piece of Borgali, and it is supposed to represent the tree of life, but instead of Borgali we have Areva, and then there is fire, the main symbol of Azerbaijan. Look what I got. I also made alternative versions for other ideologies, and the ChatGPT part is again visible here, because if you replace the Areva with ChatGPT, then it looks both like Areva and Borgali, just like we needed. So now, what can we conclude from an obvious clickbait video? Well, there are multiple conclusions that mostly depend on your worldview. First of all, we should be aware that any reference to real-life traditional symbols is a pure coincidence. Taking this video seriously is almost the same as taking the conspiracy theories seriously, because just like me, they take completely unrelated topics and connect them because they got lucky and managed to connect all of that unrelated stuff. That's how conspiracy theories are made. You take a concept and then you take another concept, then you just try to find some connection between the two. That's like doing a puzzle and connecting two unrelated pieces. Some of them don't connect, so you can't just make conspiracy theories out of anything. You need at least some kind of connection. But even in that case, there is a huge chance that even if they connect, you will immediately get caught, because even if they connect, the images on pieces are obviously not related, but you might get super lucky because there are some situations where the images on pieces look like they are perfectly connected. This mostly happens with the ones that just have a flat color on them, something like scar. In this case, everyone is convinced that the connection is real because the pieces connect and the images on pieces also connect. That's because you don't have the full image right now. You need to fully connect the pieces of the puzzle, and only then you will realize that some pieces seem like they don't fit anywhere. And now finally you can put everything in their place in the actual image. So yeah, I hope this helps you to trust me less, because as Atatürk once said, if my words go against science, choose science. The second lesson we get from this video is obviously that swastika is not and never was a nationalist symbol, but is sometimes a national symbol. I mean, it can be found everywhere. The third lesson is that back in the day, a country called Caucasian Democratic Federative Republic used to exist and failed miserably. I wonder if there is a chance of reunification. And the fourth lesson is that this video was obviously a joke and you shouldn't take it seriously. It was just made to see if I can make this video essay art videos. So yeah, bye I guess.
Dari Duri, Dari Duri, Dari Darale. Dari Duri, Dari Duri, Dari Darale. Dari Duri, Dari Duri, Dari Darale. Schengen Azuale. Dari Duri, Dari Duri, Dari Darale. Dari Duri, Dari Duri, Dari Darale. Dari Duri, Dari Duri, Dari Darale. Schengen Azuale. მინდორში ბალახ ბულახში ამოსულიყო იაო, ამაღამ შენთან მოვდივარ, კარი და სტოლი ღიაო.